All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to be back. Good to see everyone up in the side chat. Man, it's blowing up out there already. Thank y'all for being here. And with that being said, Alan, please start us off right, brother.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heck yeah, man. Gentlemen, start your engines. So, Alan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Finally, the a major project at work is near completion, and so my 70-hour work weeks are going to cut down. Other than that, just dealing with medical, building furniture, and a whole lot of nothing else.
All right. So, what kind of furniture are you building? Is this like IKEA crap or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's not. I'm not actually building furniture. It's more of just assembling Chinese crap.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's assembling Chinese crap. So I have this dresser delivered the other day, and it showed up at the base of my stairs. And it's probably 130-pound box, 140-pound box. It's got extra cardboard wrapped all the way around it. It's got enough packing tape on it to cover the sun. Well, carrying it up the stairs by myself, I essentially had to roll it up the stairs, which is exactly what looked like UPS did. And once I got it upstairs, I got real concerned about opening this thing up. I'm like, this thing's just, there's no way these things survived. No way. I start cutting this thing open, and the styrofoam inside of it had done its job really, really well, but it became really staticky snow. And so there is parts of particle board or part of styrofoam all over my house from trying to unbox this dresser that I got to put together. Just snow covered in static. It's a damn good time.
Dude, you should have rolled in it and made a video.
Can you imagine? Can
I
you
was
imagine the
almost
video
thinking
title?
because I haven't for years. I haven't put anything on the review channel, and I almost did it. But I don't want to put anything on there from China. Is what it kind of boils down to. As I was peeling the layers of cardboard back, one of the things that even made it worse is it looked like it had gotten saturated wet. The cardboard was all stained up, everything else. I'm like, this is just laminated cardboard freaking furniture. There's no way this survived.
Is it just me, or does it sound like he should be doing this in a narration? As I peeled back the layers of cardboard and got into the styrofoam. I mean, he's got the radio voice for it, so I think he should, a good narration would come out well for him.
Oh yes, yeah. If I would have had like a head mount on or something, it would have been perfect because I wouldn't have been able to use the sound with everything that was coming out of my mouth while unboxing this POS.
Jamie, how you doing, brother?
Better than I deserve, man. Thanks for having me. And I feel your pain, Alan. I really do, buddy. I'm working on 350 Legend right now, so that'd be interesting. Got some brand new Starline 350 Legend brass that's going through the sizer. Then we'll trim it and we'll expand the case mouse a little bit. And we're going to put some 160 grain Federal Fusion bullets in there. And we'll set them on some Winchester 296.
Nice.
Hello.
Nice. Good deal, man. That's awesome.
You
You have a rough expected amount. What do you expect to get out of that?
You mean group wise or speed wise?
Speed wise.
I can look. No, I can't look it up either. It's not in the book. I have to do it on quick loads, but I'm guessing 23 to 2,400 feet per second.
It's going to be cooking pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's 28 grains. I took the gun completely apart today, pulled the barrel out, and polished the feed ramps. And of course, we can't talk about that on YouTube. So
You can talk about all you want, man. I don't care.
You just can't show it, right?
That's right, man. you describe it all you want. They can suck it.
Well, I got in there and I got my Dremel tool. I know y'all are cringing already, but this thing's got M4 feed ramps. It's got a space. There's space. The feed ramps don't go all the way up into the chamber. Like there's probably quarter inch or better of space between the feed ramps, M4 feed ramps, and the actual chamber of the barrel. So I wasn't anticipating that. So I was kind of limited as to what I could do, but we got those ground down a little bit, and we got all of them polished. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The problem is I wasn't able to feed cast lead bullet loads in that particular firearm. So probably still won't because of that particular design, but that's okay, man. We can always get another platform for our cast lead bullets, but I really like the 350 Legend. So you guys in straight wall states, if you want to hunt deer and you want something that's legal that'll do the job, 350 Legend will do the job on a deer, whitetail anyway.
I'm sure you'll get it figured out, man. It's just trial and error, and you know, you'll get it figured out.
Hope so. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, brother. Let's see here, Salad Eater. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Thanks for the invite as usual. Just recovering and getting ready for another week, unfortunately. Well, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, work.
So what did you get up to this past week? I saw, I didn't actually get a good look at it, but I saw you did a post on the community page there where you were, I don't know, were you at a club or what were you doing?
Yeah, some theater thing. It was, I got rope-a-doped, kind of, I guess. I don't know. The lady was looking at something, an event thing, looked it up online. It looked interesting, got there, and it wasn't as advertised, but it turned out to be more of a club thing. So,
so you got Danieled.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe his wife and my lady have been talking. I don't know what exactly happened, but
No,
I know.
what I mean by that is like that Daniel, not that Daniel has suggested we go see this fantastic movie, and he's telling me all about it, how great it's supposed to be, this, that, the other, and so I agree that we can go watch the movie, and then we get there in the first 5 minutes, we're sitting there going, "Oh hell no."
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
I refer to that as being Daniel. You got Daniel.
Okay. Yeah, and I paid for it. So
He sat there and watched the whole movie. I was
Damn
ready.
right, we freaking paid for it.
I was ready to walk out. You watched the whole movie. I said,
I'm
"Let's go."
sorry,
You
man.
said, "Oh no, I like this."
No. We paid good money, and we also wanted to make sure that we could give a fantastic review to other people out there, like Gene reloading from the hot pot, so we could get other people to go watch it, like Gene from reloading from the hot pot.
I hope he watched it. I hope he went in and watched it. Oh,
Probably cried during the credits because it was over.
oh boy.
Yep, there's Ozzy. Ozzy's got a Savage Actress. There you go. Nice.
I might have to get me one of those. Either that or maybe that CVA Scout single shot. Y'all familiar with those?
Yep.
I've heard
solid platform.
heard a lot of good stuff about that. Some folks say they really shoot well.
Bohemian Hunting Club has a few different videos on those. But yeah, they're a sweet shooter, man. From what I've seen, they're pretty dang good. All right, so before we get too far in, Alan, you want to go through the side chat and greet our wonderful auditor while you're at it?
Oh, well, let me see here. Let's see what the YouTubes actually have to say. But there's I'm going to murder this. Dale Prague, Kyle, Ozzy Osbourne, Rich, 4150. Good to see Rich out there. Got some royalty out there. Really, the only person that we truly want to welcome to the show is the YouTube auditor, and let you know that you can go eat a bowl of dicks. Stopping people from having conversations about things, just because you don't like the things that we're talking about. It's get over yourselves.
Change your fucking policies, you fucking pieces of shit. We're the ones that bring you fucking money. That's all it comes down to. We're the ones that bring it to you. You're making it off of us, but you want to tell us what we can and can't do.
Yeah, there's this gal that I watch that makes amusing videos. They're light, they're comedy, they're family oriented. She doesn't curse, she doesn't show anything rude, crude. It's literally just comedy, and clean comedy at that. There is nothing on this gal's channel that I would not let a 12-year-old watch. Nothing. Yet they recently demonetized her and gave her 2 strikes over showing images that were just bad tattoos. Yeah, one was an image over bad tattoos, and if I recall properly, another one was an image of somebody at Walmart that was wearing leggings that happened to be flesh-colored leggings. And so YouTube flagged it as sexual content and showing nudity.
But if you want, you can go watch someone be beheaded, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's so much out there that is just ridiculous, and you would never ever ever, even as an adult, you watch it, you're just like, why is this even out there? But yeah, simple comedy, and they're demonetizing her channel. It's ridiculous.
Well, and I don't know how many of you guys have experienced this here lately, but I've had a lot of people message me lately saying they got unsubscribed, and I've had it happen to me on a bunch of other channels where I've gone to see if someone's made a video and I've been unsubscribed again, and it seems to be becoming more and more frequent. I would say in the last 6 months or so, I've had to go back and resubscribe to channels quite a bit.
I had somebody tell me recently that they were for some reason unsubscribed to mine and resubscribed. So uh, I've seen it a couple times, but now I think it's harder to point a finger at exactly why, because I haven't posted videos in quite a while. So I know, like, if you're not active, I don't know what their limits are, how long or whatever. Maybe they, automatically unsubscribe thinking it's a dead account or something like that. I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
that wouldn't explain, because like we try to do this video every week, and then when I can get other videos out, I get other videos out. Like this past week, I had a couple videos planned, but then I ended up getting a little sick, and wasn't doing too good there for a couple of days. It's a stomach issue, and I'm over it now, thankfully. I think I just had some kind of stomach bug, but I didn't feel like doing anything at that point. But the thing of it is like I looked, like when I got that message today, and this is from someone who's been subscribed to me pretty much from almost from the get-go. They got unsubscribed. I went to go look and just see, just for shits and giggles, how many subscribers were still sitting there, and I've gone down at least almost 30. So I'm sure other people have been unsubscribed at the same time as he was unsubscribed. And I hear it time and time again from various different channels, back and forth, about how it keeps happening. So I don't really think it has anything related to how often you post or anything like that. It's just YouTube pulling their BS, man.
That sounds like something YouTube would do.
Well, and I have found myself subscribed to channels that I would never subscribe to. It's not nearly as prevalent as watching subscribers drop. I understand there's very good reason for subscribers to be dropping off my channel, but I don't know if that's people that are just leaving the channel because I'm not producing the content, or if it's YouTube that's deleting people off the channels. But I mean, for Fudd with a gun, that he's probably glad that YouTube's removing people.
Yeah, I've lost 3 subscribers here in the last couple months.
I'm right there with you. I've been subscribed to channels that I don't even know how the hell I got subscribed to them. Like, I've never seen them, never watched them, nothing, and somehow I'm subscribed. And so I try to go back and check regularly to make sure who I'm subscribed to and not. But end of the day, that's still pretty tough too, because you got to remember we've been doing this for quite a few years at this point, and so that list is pretty big. And so it takes a hot minute to go through it and try and figure out, yeah, I know this person or I don't know this person, and so on and so forth. And then the other part to that too is a lot of people keep changing their names. And so you kind of got to look at the logo or go back and look at the channel and see if you know who they are or don't know who they are. But YouTube is certainly causing a lot of issues when it comes to subscribing and unsubscribing people and adding random channels to you and all the rest of it. That's a big one.
So, Jamie,
Yes.
I'm hardcore 4570, just the same as your hardcore 357. I went and trimmed up all my 4570 brass to get ready for this next deer season. And you know what? I'm not going to use it. I got a hold of the first gun, the gun that I got my first deer with, and I'm just going to dedicate the whole year of shooting that gun and going for a deer with it.
Is that a muzzle loader?
Yes, sir. Hawking.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
So, a lot of history with me in that gun.
That's awesome, man.
So I'm not going to be saying 4570 knocks deer straight down, no tracking or nothing like that. I'm not going to get into that debate.
Was that hawking a 50 or a 54?
It's 45.
45. Okay.
Yeah, 45 shooting a maxi ball. You hit him in the chest, the lungs and everything just roll out in a big pool of blood.
So if that big one walks out in front of you, are you going to try and take it with that, or are you going to?
That's the deer I'm gunning for. I found both of his sheds. That Hawken came from my godfather that just passed away. And when I missed him or whatever last hunting season, he was in hospice at the time, and I was out there feeling all guilty that I was even out in the woods. So,
Yep, you were lacking focus and thinking elsewhere and not paying attention to everything, and probably jerked the trigger a little bit or this, that, the other. It could be anything. You never know. When you're out there and you're in that moment and you got other things on your mind, it never bodes well.
It was totally focused. I was totally focused in. Had my 4570 right there and just nice and easy, maybe 30 yards, and it was just at an easy walk. And
right, but clearly you weren't focused, because if you were, you would have got it.
Yeah. And Rich, yes, the maxi ball literally will blow their lungs completely up and heart. It just sucks in all that air when it hits. So the biggest thing I got, I mean, finding both sides of the sheds at two different locations, that was pretty great. But
Yeah,
the wife,
awesome.
Yeah, the wife found one more shed than I did this year. I found two on my own. We found one shed together, and she found 3 other shits. I mean, boom, she got me.
Well, I'm not kind of surprised. She's outside a lot more than you are.
No, not really.
Yeah, she tends to be.
Well, that's with the goats, though. But,
Right,
you know,
but she's still outside, so.
yeah, but in the woods, walking around looking for this stuff. Yeah. But it's nice when you got somebody around that has the same interest, you know.
Well, I mean that's just, and I hate to say this, but you taught her well.
Yeah, maybe a little too well.
I couldn't say that with a straight face.
So, what weight maxi balls are you shooting?
250 grain. Maybe that's why I like the 4570. They're both. I'm shooting 250 grain out of both of them. And they're both going about the same speed. So,
Yep, nice, good, heavy bullet. Yep.
Yeah, 250 grain maxi ball. 90 grains of powder behind it. I always use black powder. I'm just kind of, should I use the pellets this year instead, or just keep going with the black powder? I think that's the only question I've got.
What's been working for you?
Well, with muzzleloader, I've been shooting inline, so I've been shooting the pellets.
Give it the way you did it when you got your first deer.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm kind of mulling over.
That would be the way to go, man. I mean, think about it. You're going for one of the biggest deer you've seen, and this is the same firearm that you used to get your first deer. Why wouldn't you do it the same way?
Black powder is such a pain in the butt to clean out.
But you're gonna have a fat fucking deer sitting in front of you with nice, huge fucking the whole 9 yards. You're gonna have that big rack sitting right there, and you're gonna have a big, huge smile on your face, and cleaning that thing's gonna be the last thing in your mind.
Now I'm gonna be shooting it all summer.
You'll create like a ritual, tradition or something.
Yeah.
Something you can pass along.
Black
Maybe
powder
different
is
than
the
other
biggest
people's.
pain to clean. It's especially.
I'm sorry, but Jamie, I think I hear a ambulance.
There's no wham about it. Black powder's a pain in the butt.
No, it's a fucking ambulance, dude. All I hear is you going wah, wah.
It's half-ass and a reenactment.
Okay, who in here besides Jamie and I have actually shot black powder
I've shot black powder.
and then cleaned the gun after?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, I know. But it's still all I hear is a fucking ambulance, dude.
Now, the easiest way to clean out the black powder is to use Dawn or Ivory dish soap in a boiling pan of water. There you go. Dawn, if it's safe. Yeah, see, there's some people out there that know.
Right. So they're saying it's easy. Dawn in hot water.
But do they use boar butter? When you got to get that second reload.
Do you really need to bring up their type of lube?
Yeah, the boar. You gotta when you're shooting guns. I mean, especially black powder, you got to season the barrel with boar butter. And that way, when you got to put in your second load in there, the bullet will push all the way down. And when you get to go to clean it, it's so simple.
What seems to be the problem with black powder rifles as opposed to the pistols? And pistols too, uh, is getting that water and dawn back out of the barrel. You got to take that. You got to take that nipple connector off, unscrew that, and then just flush it through there.
And if it's not on tight enough, it'll blow that nipple right out.
Yeah, you got to put it back in there.
Yeah.
But
I've had
we're
them
talking
blow
to a
out
man that took an AR-15 apart today just to polish feed ramps. So,
twice.
you know.
Texas 6, you've never used boar butter. Oh. I use it on modern firearms because it improves the accuracy.
When you're saying it's improving accuracy, how much you talking?
Well, I've improved it from a brand new Daniel's Defense AR at 100 yards. My groups were going about 1 3/4 inches, and I got it down to just over 1 inch doing the whole boar butter break-in process. And it's easier, and the barrel's easier to clean once it's seasoned. And then after I put a Traeger on that Scotsman provided, it was doing a 0.6 MOA at 100, shooting at 100 yards. Yeah. Anybody that's got old cast iron skillets, I mean, you got to season them. It's exactly the same thing on a gun barrel. I'm a believer.
I think it's important to do what you're familiar with and what makes you comfortable. I think confidence is very important. I just do. And that's another reason I would. No, Mark, two different things, dude. Anyway, so what kind of black powder are you talking about? What do you use? Are you using like the Swiss made or whatever that stuff is, or are you using Pyrodex or?
No, I'd never use. Well, the Pyrodex is the pellets now, right? That's what I use in my inlines. But the old stuff, this was black powder, the old out of the can stuff.
Yeah.
I'd have to go downstairs and look at the can that I still have. That thing's got to be at least, that can of powder's got to be about 40 years old.
Dang, Rich.
Think it's still going to be good after 40 years?
All I got to do is make a little pile and throw a match to it. And if it flares up really good, I'll know after the first shot.
It's got to be, Rob, because think about it. Once you pour that powder down that muzzle, then you seat that bullet on top of it. There's no going back. It's got to go.
Well, you can always unscrew the nipple and kind of shake as much out as you can, and then stuff as much back down in that nipple hole. You do
I've
have
seen that done.
Yeah, especially after the powder gets wet.
I have seen that done. And I'm thinking, dang, what a pain in the butt, man.
Yeah.
We've come a long way in firearm development.
Yeah.
So Friday night, we were talking a little bit about history of lever actions and stuff like that. the first lever actions, as I've done a little bit more research, which I probably should have done before we did the show Friday night, right? I got the cart before the horse. Uh, they had what they called um, cartridgeless ammunition, caseless ammo. So basically, what it is a hollow base bullet packed full of gunpowder. And back at that time, which would have been 1858, 1859, early 1860, obviously it would have been black powder. So then they had to have something uh, to to make it spark and go off. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that the early lever actions didn't catch on, because then they got to using uh, the cases they were using were made out of copper and not brass, and they would split. That it was like those Henry 1860s that were 44 caliber rimfire. Those guns, they were using that the copper cases, and that gun held like 10, 14 of them. They said it was not uncommon to have at least one rupture in the magazine. So you couldn't shoot, in other words, you couldn't shoot the whole magazine without one of them messing up, having a case failure, because it was copper. And Texas 6, I watch Duelist sometimes. I really like him. I like his channel. Duelist 1954.
Oh, and when you started talking the whole advances in technology, mid 70s, sitting right here 7 feet from me was the gun. If they would have gotten a patent on it, I would have been a trust fund baby. They took a single shot 20 gauge. They sleeved the barrel with a solid, piece of solid steel down in there. Then put rifling in it. Tapped out the back end to accept the 209 primer. They made 2 of them, and I've got 1 of them. It was the first inline muzzleloaders ever, and they didn't get a patent. They just made it because they had a machine. They had the machines, and and they loved shooting the muzzleloaders, and it was coming legal in Ohio to be able to get a buck or doe with it then. Yeah, he made that right after I got my first deer. Oh, I wish I could show you that. I mean, it's just a single shot 20 gauge, built and made and modified and turned into a muzzleloader.
Well, heaven forbid you make a video about it.
Yeah, there's that. I might change my channel name to Fudd with a Gun and just do this whole thing this summer about getting ready, go on hunting to go after one particular deer using one particular gun, and then disappoint everybody because I killed it with a bow during archery. And just go over like that gun there, a little story behind guns, but it's got to be relevant. Us old guys, we like sitting around telling stories, don't we?
Absolutely. And the more unbelievable, the better.
Hey, fact is stranger than fiction a lot of times.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't make this crap up.
Yeah. Not at all. Can you shoot modern day gunpowder through an old double barrel hammer shotgun? Or are you going to have to load the shotgun shells up with black powder?
How old is the gun?
If I set it on the chair and show it where I'm not touching it, are we going to get kicked off?
Oh, not supposed
No,
to.
no. As long as you are not handling the firearm on live video.
Right.
As long, okay, I can set it up against the wall. They can maybe show you. All right, gonna make me get up. Now that's whining.
He can whine with the best of them.
And he can upload his avatar too.
I can't say I've ever used boar butter myself. Yeah, I've very rarely ever used Dawn and water, but when I have used Dawn and water, then I like chase it with like Boar Blaster, because that just helps get rid of any water that there could possibly be. All right, so what you got here, Daniel? Mm-hmm. Yep.
What brand is it?
Oh, I was on mute. I got to go get my glasses now so I can read it. I'll be back.
Go ahead and sing the Jeopardy theme or whatever it takes to make it through while Daniel gets his glasses.
I would, but would get a copyright strike. I mean, this is like, oh, it's getting like the NFL, no fun league. And if you have fun, it's the NFL, not for long.
Not for long.
Whoo, 96 mile per hour winds. Yeah, we're making the earner's paycheck tonight, ain't we, Mock? Yeah, I agree, 6. But you could load some down, like half power stuff. Shoot it. Black powder is just so much different than smokeless powder. It's more of a push than a thump, when it's going off.
I've never really paid attention to like burn rates, but I mean, typically with smokeless, you get much higher burn rates, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jay Stevens Arms. Is this mic on?
Yep.
Yeah, there'd be a model number on the other side.
I got to read through the patina. Stevens Arms Company, something, Massachusetts, USA. No model number. That's the same thing on both sides. I mean, these old hammers are just like how you'd have the old flintlock hammers. Not the flintlock, but you know, the percussion cap. Except they've been flattened and it's got the pins that stick out the back end. Yeah, there's no model. Oh, it's underneath. Model 235. Yeah, it's on the bottom of the gun.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, look at these guys coming in. Oh, Jamie, you were talking about the nipples coming off. Here's what a scope looks like when a nipple blows off the bottom out of a Hawken. Yeah, and they were the first ones to tap the Hawken barrels so you can mount scopes on them. But 1, 2, and that's just the burn marks from the flash. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't get those nipples on tight enough on a muzzleloader. Yeah, they didn't patent that either.
Thought I'd walked in on a really weird conversation there for a second.
Was that during the boar buttle or the boar butter? Or I don't think he should be shooting modern day powder through a black powder.
Well, it is foreign and domestic, but
I wouldn't recommend it.
yeah, Thorzak's. Yeah, I understand. I am looking a bit rough. In the past 4 months, I've dropped 55 pounds. And yeah, I've been putting in the hours at work, definitely. Pushing 70 this past week.
What the hell are you gonna do with all the money?
Oh, money. Huh. No, they tax the shit out of it because it's overtime. Even though that supposedly is already passed, they're still not letting me keep my overtime money. They tax the snot out of it, but right at the moment, it's getting rabbit holed. Just because I know I'm gonna.
You just tell them don't pay. Tell the employer don't pay the overtime until like 6 months from now. Once the legislation passes, then you collect your overtime pay.
Yeah.
What happened to Scotsman?
Oh, he's there.
Well, he's probably getting himself some coffee or something.
Well, seems that we have 2 new people join the chat. Since Alan won't do whatever, and Scotsman, who knows where he went. Oh, professional amateur, what you doing?
I'm laying on the bed watching you losers.
Hey, misery loves company, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Looks like you had a good time out there with old John.
Oh, the Charlotte was awesome. Okay. And the best thing was I had a really, really cheap flight. So it only cost me $100 to fly from Newark to Charlotte. KB picked me up. We went down to a PSA gathering in Clinton House. And then we drove to Fort Bragg. And we watched the Battle of the South 2-gun match. We spent the night over there. We went back to Charlotte. Was fun weekend. Fun and inexpensive.
I must commend you on your maturity. You didn't fall for the bait I left you when I was just harassing you, sounding like Rob, New York Outcast, about being too cheap to put the money out, in the comments section.
I probably didn't see it.
Well, I made some comments comparing you to New York Outcast, being tight with your money.
Oh no, nobody's as tight as New York Outcast. That motherfucker makes Scrooge McDuck look like a big spender.
That's why I thought you would bite on it, man. Yeah, I was putting it out there. Go ahead, Rob. Say something.
I really got no argument. I wouldn't say I'm that frugal, but yeah, I think about it.
Come on, I bet you fucking New York Outcast he reuses the candy wrappers.
New York Outcast uses both sides of the toilet paper.
I don't know. That might be even a little extreme for Rob. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, not that cheap.
Well, no, Rob said, hey,
Scots.
Rob told me all the soap is free in public restrooms.
Yeah, toilet paper too. Yep.
Yeah, it's just really hard getting it re-rolled back onto another roll.
Yeah, Thorzax, the whole weekend was cheap. Believe it or not, the plane ticket cost me $105 from Newark down to Charlotte. And then the only other money I spent down there was the hotel in whatever the hell the Fort Bragg is. That was like $66, and it was actually pretty good hotel room. I was surprised, and that was it. KB wouldn't let me pay for the gas. Oh yeah, never mind. I also paid for the barbecue. So I think I spent like altogether maybe $200 the entire weekend. So yeah, thank you, Spirit Airlines. I'm gonna put a shameless plug. Bus in the sky.
Well, as long as the doors don't blow off, I think you'd be okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a Boeing. It wasn't a Boeing, so it was Airbus. So we were good there. Because actually, on the way back, they changed my seat. This lady asked me to swap the seat because her kid wasn't sitting with her or whatever. I was like, yeah, no problem. And then the stewardess saw that, and she's like, well, why don't you wait a minute? Maybe I can give you a different seat. And she wound up giving me a seat at the emergency exit. So I had plenty of leg room. Made me a little nervous, but, I double-checked. It's not a Boeing. It's an Airbus, so we're good to go.
Yeah, and plus you'd be the first one out if something happens. You're right at the door.
Just don't drink too much and be confused thinking that's the door to the restroom.
Yeah, I haven't had a drink in almost 2 years, so yeah, I'm pretty good on that.
Wow, there's a lot of people that quit drinking around here.
Yeah. Still not really dropping the weight I want. Still want to drop another 10, 15 pounds.
Well, Pat in the bunker cut out on us when he started coughing. Well, hello, Pat in the bunker.
Howdy, sir. Yeah, wherever Scott's at, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Literally just got done choring, so thought I'd hop on for a little bit. Maybe this cough will settle down. I don't know.
Either that or you'll die live on YouTube.
Yeah, just make sure you get it monetized. That way, put it towards my funeral fund. Or make it go viral.
Well, we'll just have to get New York Outcast to do the research on the cheapest funeral.
I can hook you up with that.
Hey, Jamie, are you going to NRA show?
thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it too. If I can score the cheap plane tickets for me and my girlfriend, I might come down there for 1 or 2 nights.
You going to fly into Hartsfield?
Yeah, if I can get the cheap tickets like I got for the Charlotte for like $150, then yeah, why not? Fly to Atlanta. I would probably just come for like a 1 night, check out the show. I was thinking about it. I'm coming to Ohio in what is it, June or July? Going to Cleveland for GunCon.
GunCon's in Cleveland?
I believe so.
I'm less than an hour away from Cleveland.
There you go. So yeah,
Is
that's
that
that's
during
the.
what weekend is that?
Is it June or July 21st? I think, or something like that. Not 100% sure.
So let me know. I'll be glad to meet up with y'all and take you to the varsity, man. It'll be fun.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'll see. It kind of depends on the work as well, because the house is progressing right now. The weather's good, so we'll see how it goes. I'll look around. I'll make a decision next week or so. I'm not a huge fan of NRA, and I just did that PSA gathering, and I'm going. I did the SHOT Show, and I'm going to a gun con. So there's only so much new stuff you can see, but it would be nice to meet people. I should have, when I went down to a PSA gathering, I should have put up the video and meet up with the people. Kind of didn't think of that. The only person I met down there was the X-Ring, and I wind up coming home with the 2 microtags.
Oh, that's the one I got you on your case about you being cheap. Her Coda boy paid full price, and you got him you got the knives he shot.
Well, but I got the OG knives. I got the ones that X-Ring tested on the channel.
Okay, June the 21st is a Saturday. And guess what is on Sunday?
Well, check out. I don't know if it's June or July. Check out the guncon.com.
Well, I looked at July, and the 21st is a Monday.
Well, maybe I'm wrong on the dates. Look at the GunCon. I can't really do it on my phone.
Well,
hang on.
If you do come down, if you do make it to Ohio in June, you can do the NRA on Saturday, and then come shoot a match on Sunday down here, a USPSA match.
Yeah, but I would have to drive. I don't know if I want to drive. If I'm gonna go that way and I'm gonna drive, then maybe I'll come a couple of days ahead and I'll go see you. I'll go see Chris. I mean, Chris is gonna be at GunCon anyway, but I figure I can go to the range with him or something. I don't know.
Well, you just ride down here with Chris. He lives out right beside the range. He lives right beside the range where that match is. That's where he does all of his videos. Get some cheap tickets to Cleveland, man.
So back to the shotgun.
Okay.
Does it, when you looked at the, does it say J. Stevens Arms Company?
Yeah.
Are you sure? And it doesn't say J. Stevens Arms and Tool?
All right, let me get my flashlight back on it. Da, 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 da.
Oh, by the way, speaking of GunCon, the tickets went on sale last week, so.
Where's that dumb shotgun at? Oh, there it is. Okay. J. Stevens Arms Company.
Okay, according to this article, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Production started in 1909 and went. Production ended in 1931. The ones marked J. Stevens Arms Company were made after 1916. So
After 1916. Okay.
So it was made between 1917 and 1935. Excuse me, 1931. And there were 62,000 produced, and they were available in 26, 28, 30, and 32 inch barrels, both in 16 and 12 gauge. So more than likely, it's going to be a 2 3/4 inch chamber.
Yeah.
And they were produced to shoot black powder.
Black powder.
Or early smokeless powder. But this guy said he found some rather weak trap skeet loads that were under 1,000 feet per second. And he shot those in it without any problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I would load some black powder rounds for it.
Yeah. I'll probably never shoot a gun. What's up? What's up, Val?
So gun con is June 28th.
Yeah, well, yeah, because let's see, Bama Dad had the dates. Edward Petty had the dates. Did Scotsman ever come back?
How far is Cleveland from me?
From you?
I
don't know where you at. You're in New York somewhere.
Actually, I'm in Connecticut.
Well, maybe longer for you, but from my area, about 7 hours.
We got him thinking about doing a road trip now. How about that?
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing the road trip. All depends on work. I mean, it's like $40 worth of gas for the freaking Prius, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, hit your boss up for some time off.
I don't know. My boss is a real asshole.
Yeah, just slap him around. Oh, that's right. That thing's right in downtown on East 49th Street. I hate Cleveland with a passion.
Why?
Why? Well, you get along great with them because they're a-holes. I mean, the attitude up in Cleveland is unacceptable. I go to Akron, Canton, Columbus. The people's attitude is totally different. Everyone's nice, respectful, but you go up to Cleveland, you definitely get attitude. And it's not that New York attitude either. It's just, yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. It's 8 hours for me.
Yeah, you do the Prius, you can get around all over the place.
That's what I might do that. I might take a Prius. I don't know. I'll see. Because the gun con is actually they have the thing for the content creators. I think they have like a range time or crap like that. So I gotta find the original email. Well, also what I need to do, I gotta do a video promote the gun con. I don't have the time. I also gotta do drawing for the Microtech knives because I only had a whopping 2 freaking entries for that knife. So it's gonna be between reloading from a hot pod and one more dude that actually did a video response to that video.
You're
just gotta
doing a
find-
giveaway? I didn't see that. I didn't see that you were doing a giveaway on that.
I only did it. Only did it like God knows how long ago.
Because I watched those videos there where you boom, broke out the knives.
I
Showing
did.
you.
I did the original video. Like holy shit, it was supposed to be done. I was expecting shit by like Christmas. Then I extended it another month, then another month, and then nobody ever did anything, and then I gave up. I mean, the whole algorithm, the whole YouTube is screwed up. I mean, I'm approaching 35,000 subscribers, and I can't get 500 views on the goddamn video.
Hmm.
So I really don't know how the hell this crap works.
Then people wonder why I don't make videos anymore. I found a YouTuber lives about 10 miles from me, and I've been trolling him. And I haven't got him to bite yet. I don't know if you ever hear a gun drummer.
Nope.
Oh yeah, absolutely heard of him.
The guy lives 10 miles from me. And we actually know some of the same people. So I said, hey, tell this guy I said he's a dick. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Maybe my channel name's probably scared him off.
I've told you it's redundant.
My channel name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one it's a translation. One's in English and the other one's in Hebrew.
Correct.
Is that what Daniel means?
Huh? Yeah, Daniel means God is my judge.
And I thought Daniel means a jackass, based on your actions.
No, I'm thinking about changing my channel name to Fud with a Gun, actually. So if I do go ahead and do that series this summer, and it's just all going to be about getting ready and going out deer hunting next year, maybe with some old Fud guns thrown in. Then if Val ever shows up to shoot a match out here, I might do a little trolling video live on location.
Dude, I don't even shoot guns anymore.
Yeah.
We just saw a video of you shooting guns.
I know. That's what I thought. At least 3 rounds out of a SIG.
Yeah, that was all the shooting I did the entire time down south. Those 3 rounds I was sick. That was it. That's why I didn't even bother shooting anything else, because everything they had over there, they had 3 or 5 rounds, just like in Vegas, and that's just, it's kind of stupid. Like you can't tell nothing from shooting 3 guns. It's 3 rounds, especially gun that somebody else sighted in. Like that SIG the sights were way the hell off. The red dot was off. It's just, what? It didn't make any sense.
At least you hit the steel on the last shot.
Yeah, I had to do Kentucky windage on that thing. So it was, these events, when it comes to actual shooting guns, is kind of pointless. I mean, they had companies over there that let you shoot full auto, but they charge $30 a mag. So it's just I don't know. Like if it's a brand new gun you never shot or whatever, then yeah, like that metal SIG, yeah, it was nice, but you know what? Like if it would have been like gun I never shot or completely new gun like Alien, something radical, then maybe 3 rounds would pique your interest to buy it or something like that. But I mean, it's still better than nothing. At least you get your hands on the gun.
Actually, I just don't think you've been doing any shooting because she just been showed up too much.
Tell you what, ever since I got that Ace virtual reality shooting thing, I probably shot 20,000 rounds through that thing. Hell, I must have shot 1,000 rounds today.
We've got one of those indoor video ranges like that.
No,
Here.
it's the one that goes on your Meta, the virtual reality. If you go watch my video, you would know.
Oh, I
And,
seen it. I watched it.
yeah, that thing is worth every penny. So I do a lot of shooting whenever I have a time. I spend half an hour here, half an hour there with that. That takes the edge off, and I would say it just feels 80 to 90% like a real thing.
I didn't think they had the recoil on it.
Well, you don't have the recoil on a gun, but you have the recoil on a virtual gun, if that makes any sense. Like the gun in your hands doesn't recoil, but the sights and the gun that you watch while shooting absolutely recoils, just like almost like a real gun.
I see you recently threw up a thing about Winchester had a sale going on.
Yeah, PSA. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to support the channel, go to my website and buy something. That's the best way because I can get a few bucks through PSA through affiliate links. Make a couple of bucks off whatever. So far, the only money I made from those links were from the ammo I bought. Every time the 77 grain AAC ammo comes on sale for $9.99 a box, I go buy a couple hundred rounds. And every time they have some like 9mm, that's 20, 21 cents a round, I usually buy a couple hundred rounds.
I was wondering that 9mm that's that Winchester white box.
No, they have another one that I think they had. It might still be on sale today. Or might have ended yesterday, but they had 200 rounds Winchester, 124 grain, and it came to about 20, 21 cents a round. It was pretty good deal. It was like a 200 round boxes.
I just wonder. Scotsman loves
I usually got shit on my website.
When you're only shooting 3 rounds at a time, that lasts surprisingly long time.
Well, I definitely I mean, the shooting season didn't really start around here. I mean, there's one club that decided to shoot all year round, but I'm kind of done shooting in New York with all the bullshit that happened. There's nothing where I live right now around. We can't really shoot in Massachusetts anymore because they changed laws. So that leaves the Pennsylvania only. So I gotta go to like my sister, spend the night, and go shoot matches. And those matches haven't started yet. They're starting next month. So hopefully, I'll get to shoot at least 2 a month. Ideally, I would love to shoot every weekend, but that's just not gonna happen. At least not until the stupid house is done and sold.
Is it close to being done yet?
They finished installation today. I have an inspection tomorrow. Sheetrock is going on this week, so about halfway there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I just can't wait till you get out of there. Escape from New York, starring Bald and Curious. And Rob can be the bad guy trying to catch you.
So me and Cowboy 32 were thinking of starting a new channel.
Really?
Yeah, and we were gonna call it Gays and Guns, or GAG for short.
Oh God. He's what was that name he came up with when he does that? He had a
Lance.
specific Lance, yes, starring Val and Lance,
Yep.
or is it Lance and Val? He does that a little too well.
Yeah, he does.
You know, it'd be funny if you two was out at a club or a bar or something like that, and all of a sudden you're sitting there, and all of a sudden he just starts rattling off Lance on you.
Oh well, he actually did that on a PSA gathering. We sat down next to this old timer, and he goes, "Oh, how you doing? Is it your first time?" And he goes, "Yeah, this is our first time. We just got married. This is like our honeymoon." The guy's looking at us like, "I'm not judging."
He did it in the Lance voice.
Nah, he didn't do. He didn't go all the way.
Oh, that would have been a good video.
You never want to go full Lance.
Yeah, you can do the Russian mob persona, and he goes and does the Lance.
What I'm gonna be, Russian mob gay? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, you just use pink bullets.
You guys are a
Talk
bunch of
about grand
homophobes.
powers a lot.
Huh?
You guys are a bunch of homophobes.
No, not really. I grew up in the 80s, man, when humor was humor. We didn't worry about being politically correct, and people were able to go and make fun of themselves. Come on, haven't you heard of Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy? Come on.
No, never heard of them.
Yeah, they were funny.
Just the your mama jokes alone.
Yeah. Sam Kinison.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, hickory dickory dock. Yeah. We need to go back.
You can't get away with comedy anymore. You just I mentioned it earlier in the show. There's a gal here on YouTube that has clean comedy that I would let a kid watch and pay attention to, and they're even demonetizing her. It's just like you can't even have decent comedy anymore because it's too triggering for people.
I'm sorry, but they just got to let the kids have fights on the playgrounds again. Reinstitute the paddles in school. It teaches these kids on risk management, but it also teaches them respect.
Well, let's reinstate natural selection.
Get rid of bicycle helmets. We used to make fun of those kids.
At the very least, get discipline within the homes. I mean, no means no. It's pretty simple. Yeah. We're supposed to understand that as grown men in certain situations, but the rest of the society just argues until they get a candy bar shoved in their mouth or something. I don't know. Like, parents got to have a backbone. Stop being pussies.
Look, I mean, the government's replaced the father in most homes as a provider. Get the father back in the home, being a provider.
And even if you are a father, if you act like a real father, then, it's just nothing but arguments. You like discipline. You say no. You don't just cave to everything. You teach lessons. It seems like people don't really want that these days. They just kind of want a yes man that goes along with whatever. So that's not doing your kids a favor or society, really. So, everybody's so worried about fitting in, they don't want to stand out, even when they know better. They should say something, but they don't, because they want their kids to like them. They want to be friends, forgetting the fact that parent is a job. So if your kid likes you, they consider that a bonus. But being a parent's a job of what's best in a sense. So proper etiquette doesn't matter what your friends are doing. Society says it's okay to jump off a bridge. Or you're just going to go jump off a bridge too because that's the new cool thing. I don't know. It's a shame seeing this. It's what do they call it? I don't know. It's just rotten right in front of you. It really is. Going out to eat the other day, a lady sitting there with her family. She's a grown lady chewing with her mouth open, just looking around. Another lady, I don't know who it's, sister or whatever, sitting there, shoes off, Indian style, with her feet all over the chairs at the facility. Guy sitting next to me, got his feet out of his shoes with holy ass socks on them. And I'm sitting here trying to eat my meal, like looking around, like what the hell's going on with people? Like,
Well,
no
Rob,
pride, no nothing, no.
The next time you're at a family reunion, you're just going to have to lay down the law.
I'm no longer invited to those types of things because of that.
I was gonna tell him that he needs to start dining in a finer establishments.
Yeah, one that doesn't serve, just have a big salad bar and that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, this place is known for the best chicken wings, like in the state.
Wow, it can't be known best in the state because I never heard about it, and I'm in the same goddamn state.
Invite if you ever stop by, but you're too busy flying here and flying there instead of taking a little road trip here.
He's always too busy hanging out with famous YouTubers.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
I don't have enough love for you to stop by. I see how it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. You fly down to NRA show and I'll introduce you to some famous YouTubers.
I'm not worried about that. I don't really care for that type of stuff. So that's why I don't do all the shows and everything. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, but it's cool to see the new shit. You should come to Atlanta. Come on, break open that piggy bank, take a few bucks and buy a plane ticket to Atlanta, or freaking change oil in that Subaru and start driving.
He's not going to be able to buy a salad if he keeps breaking open the piggy bank to fly here and fly there with you.
Just did an oil change actually, but that whole NRA thing, you got to become a member of NRA, and I'm not really with that either. So
you don't have to become a member. You don't have to become a member. The members go to the show for free. You can just buy a ticket to go in. I'm not a member of NRA either.
I was told like you got to become a member to go.
No, you don't. You can buy a ticket and go. Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong. You can just buy a ticket, right?
I think the price of the ticket is 1 year membership of the NRA. Let's look it up.
Hell, I'd like to go just to protest the protesters. Positively not a fan of the NRA. They've done more against the Second Amendment over the past number of years than they've done for the Second Amendment. And, people say they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes and whatnot, but they make these big, giant events where they're really doing more damage than anything else.
All these shows are nothing but the fundraisers. Okay, the whole doesn't matter. SHOT Show, NRA, Gun Con, anything. It's a fundraiser to raise the money, whether it's for the organization or for some events or something like that. But you know, you get beyond that. It's also a nice place to meet people. You know, see the new stuff that you can't see. You know, especially with the guns. You know, there's so many guns you would like to see, get your hands on. Unfortunately, gun shops can't have every goddamn gun in the store. You know, so it's nice to go somewhere where you can, you know, actually hold these guns and or some other items that, you know, normally you don't get to see.
The NRA does have to do a lot of damage control caused by old LaPierre, whatever his name is. That guy. They need to get back to the original concept of why the NRA was founded.
Well, it's not just him too, though. There was a lot of damage prior to him. Yeah, he did a buttload of damage, but there was a lot of damage prior to that. They gotta change their ways big time.
I personally think he should be gone, just on the fact that, you know, people are donating money towards the cause, and this guy's, you know, running around $1,000 suits or whatever, you know, basically living a lavish lifestyle, which, in my opinion, you know, I don't think you really need all that to be effective at your job. You know, maybe transportation would be good, this and that, but $1,000 suits and paying for girlfriends, you know, condos and stuff out of donors' money. Even if you pay it back after you got caught, I don't think, you know, I think you should be out of the job. Like, you're not trustworthy in that position, even if you originally were towards the cause. You know, you don't let an alcoholic work at a bar. You know what I mean? It's just kind of common sense.
Why not? He probably knows the menu better than anybody.
Well, if you're going to pay him with alcohol instead of cash, I mean, it might work out.
He might save you some money. He's probably got some tricks up his sleeve.
So I looked it up. Edward Petty said $50. I couldn't find a place to buy a ticket. They send you to register to be a member. But it's coming up quick. It's in April. And if you think about going to NRAM, I've been once when it was in Atlanta before. I think that was 15, 16 maybe, is when Trump was running for president first time. It seems like Friday would be a better day than Saturday or Sunday. Sunday may be the best day, but going to the World Congress Center on a Saturday just seems like, yeah.
It'll be bad enough on a Friday, let alone on a Saturday.
It'll be worse on Saturday.
I've gone downtown on a Friday before, and it was absolutely freaking horrible. I can only imagine
Why?
what
Because
Saturday would be like.
why? Because so many people.
Yeah.
The traffic's insane. The amount of traffic is absolutely stupid. And it's not just going one way, it's going the other way too. So going in and going out, traffic is just lined up back to back.
Oh, okay. Edward Petty says gun con is $50. That's a legitimate argument, Thorzax. I can see why you would say that.
Why does it sound like someone's loading a magazine?
Because somebody's
Oh,
loading a magazine.
No, it's me playing with the OTF knives.
Oh, sound a little loose.
You're a little loose.
Well, duh. I've been that way as a child of the 80s, okay? If you remember,
What do you mean you're a child of the 80s?
I graduated 83, man. So that was like, dude.
Oh, okay.
Damn, they had schools back then.
They actually required you
Well-
to do your homework and study and turn it in and bring a pencil and paper to your class. Because some teachers.
You mean
if
it
you
wasn't
didn't bring-
just a
if you
slate, a
didn't-
stone, and a chisel?
No, if you didn't bring your pencil and paper to class, some teacher actually gave you a whack with the paddle.
Threatened me with a good time.
Yeah.
Guessing you got whacked with a paddle one too many times.
I've been whacked with a paddle a lot of times. I actually had a paddle broke on my butt once. That teacher didn't know that I had a magazine. I had a magazine in the back of my pants. And I just walked over there and I sat down on that chair as hard as I could, just grinned at him.
We should leave his bedroom behavior out of this.
Shop
Yeah,
class.
let's not get too deep into that.
It was shop class, okay?
It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, you see it like every other week, some teachers getting arrested.
A lot of these teachers should have been arrested.
Well, I think what he's talking about is you're seeing more and more women getting arrested for sexual harassment or biting the kid into doing this or doing that, which to a certain degree I can get if they're at a certain age, but once they get past a certain age and they're in that higher tier of ages, they know what the hell they're doing.
No, I'm sorry, but somebody that's in their 30s
I'm not saying it's right.
doesn't have any business.
I'm
messing
not
with
saying
somebody
it's
17,
right. I'm just saying that once they get to a certain age, they have a good idea of what the hell they're doing, and they should be somewhat responsible too.
Yeah, but then you got to take a look at the age difference. So young kids like that are just way too vulnerable. Their brains haven't developed all the way. Yeah, look at how old I am, and my brain still hasn't developed all the way.
I was gonna say your argument doesn't really hold water.
Well, just imagine what my brain was like when I was a teenager.
Don't scare me like that.
Jamie, you know what Jamie, it was hunting, it was sports, and it was girls. Those are the three main subjects back then.
But you told me to imagine. Before I realized it, I was traumatized for a second. Yeah, but that was, well, cars too. Cars. And hunting and fishing and girls, not necessarily in that order.
All right, I gotta run, guys. I'll see you guys later.
All right, buddy, take it easy.
Glad we got to see you, Val.
Wow.
See ya.
God, thank that God that guy's gone.
I can't wait for him to get out of New York. I don't even know why Rob's still in New York.
Probably cheap salads.
He's too cheap to move. He must have left the room.
Now I'm here. I'm waiting for you to let me build a cabin on your land.
See, he's being cheap. He doesn't want to buy somewhere. He wants to build on your land.
Hey, he can build it on my land as long as he brings the material.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll bring everything needed and
All the
send it
material,
all
all the
out.
labor. You said put a cabin up. All right, bring the material and the labor and put it up, man.
Yeah, and then I'll live there and just chip in on the
Whoa,
tab.
whoa, 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 whoa. Who's this?
See,
All of a
there's
sudden,
the kicker. There's that live part. You can come and build, but what's this live part?
yeah. I mean, you can rent it out on air. I'll make it into an Airbnb, and you can come up there, and I'll give you a discount.
You're brutal, dude. You're brutal.
Oh boy.
I'll drive down. I'll help you build it. I'll just take half the rental costs.
Mhm.
So Daniel will do, and I'll get half.
Yeah, see, Rob, you and Scotsman can team up, live there, and boom, it's only half the rent to split between you. It'll be right on the river,
You
too.
never know.
It'll be right on the river.
Right on the river.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of that quote. In a van, right on the river. Yeah.
Down by the river.
Yeah, that's it. Down by the river.
Chris Farley.
Uh-huh. End up living in a van down by the river.
So Thorzak's graduated in 81, Ozzy but graduated in 79. I'm right in the middle there. Fudd with a gun in 83.
Yeah.
The only difference, though, there, Jamie, is those were 1979, 1981, 1983, not 18.
They didn't even have high school in 1880. You went to the 8th grade and you were happy. No, school back then, particularly in Appalachia in the 1800s, was pretty much 2 to 3 months out of the year. Kids were working the rest of the time.
That's one of the big problems today is kids don't work, man. And part of it is some of it comes down to state law, where a lot of states say they can't work until they're X amount of age.
The Industrial Revolution changed a lot of that stuff. So when you get up to the late 1800s, early 1900s, when people started working in factories and families started moving into towns rather than living out in the country, that was it changed a lot. kids didn't have to work on the farm anymore. So that's one of the reasons why we see the situation we're in now. So
Plus, why would there be a work ethic when the average parent just hands over anything they want? Instead of an opportunity to make money for what they want, they'll just buy them what they want. So, yeah.
Well,
Well,
and like one of my big things was I'd never heard of an allowance or any of that shit until I got here.
For doing the
And
stuff you're supposed to do anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, and that's the thing of it. That I was shocked when I got here. I'm like, wait, hold on, you give them money for this, that, the like, hold on, wait, what? They don't go to work. They don't do this. They don't do that. Like, dude, what the hell's going on around here?
and they're requiring kids, I mean, to go to school through 12th grade. The Amish kids out here, I've given the armed services test, and they only go to 8th grade, and they score in the top 1%. Every single one of them was the top 1%.
As a kid growing up, I would get an allowance. The only time I would get an allowance was after all of my chores were done, everything else, and then I was doing extra things that were, basically the chores that my parents normally would do, but then I would hit them up and ask them for extra things to do. And when I did that, then eventually at the end of the week, they'd kick me a little bit of an allowance. I never knew exactly what my allowance was going to be, and they didn't either because, well, it wasn't set. It was how much extra stuff that I took off of their plate so that they didn't have to do, and I did. Yeah, so that's how I earned a quote unquote an allowance.
You know what my allowance was? If I didn't have my chores done before my dad got home from work, he got the belt out and he allowed me to learn to have the chores done before he got home.
See,
It only took twice. That's it.
I've told this story before, but years and years and years and years ago, before I got into the workforce, I had to get into the workforce because I didn't get an allowance. My feet were growing at a crazy extensive rate, and my mother had to keep buying me shoes every 3 months or less. And she got to the point where she looked at me and goes, I ain't buying you shoes no more. Go get a job. Buy your own damn shoes.
and there you have it.
It's funny. I would do like odd jobs and make money so I could upgrade the shoes because I ended up being like my dad. Like, I'll spend a basic amount, but if you want something fancy, some $200 shoes or run around and scuff up on your bicycle or all this shit, then you better come up with the money for them. I'll get you a pair of shoes, but I'm not spending $200 on them. So if you want to make up the difference, there you go. And so that's basically what I would do as a kid too, kind of make up the difference and upgrade to what I wanted. But I had to work for it. If I didn't feel like working for it, I could just, run with some basic shoes.
Wait a minute. Bama dad said his parents cut the toes out of his shoes and told him it was sandals. Me growing up, once spring hit, I didn't wear any shoes outside. Come June, the bottom of my feet was like leather. I didn't put shoes on again until school started.
Yeah, you can't do that in the city. You'll end up with, busted glass and
Needles,
little crack stems or freaking mites from people's dogs that never take care of anything, shit all over the place. Or all types of crap you step on. I mean, you don't see it as often, but you'll find hypodermic needles laying around. Yeah, I'd be cautious with your pets going outside barefoot.
Yeah, Edward.
So,
One of my big things as a kid was cutting people's grass and weeding and digging gardens and a bunch of that. All that came after my chores that I ended up having to do at the house, and I basically had like contracts for all around my neighborhood. Yet I had to use my dad's lawnmower to do that, and so I had to rent his lawnmower from him, and I had to pay him for the use of the lawnmower.
Of course.
I did the same thing with my son with a shovel. He had a snow shoveling business, so he used all my stuff. So I was like, well, since you're in business, you should learn that you got to get your own tools. Nobody buys my tools, but I'll tell you what, for whatever, I don't know, $2 a job up to like $15 or I don't know, whatever it was. You could use this and buy the shovel. And he did. And then he saved up and bought more equipment too. So, but it was a good start though, people would say it was kind of a dick move, but it's teaching them how it works. You know what I mean?
Your guys' dads weren't the only ones. When I got 16, my buddy and he had a pickup truck, and I was out there cutting firewood anyways. So I was out there going and cutting extra, and we were loading some firewood up in his truck and selling it. And my dad started getting on me. It just took once. Said, "You're putting the wear and tear on my saw." He complained about it. The next weekend, I come home with a brand new Stihl chainsaw, and he goes, "How'd you pay for that?" Well, the guy that sells them has known me since I was like 8 years old, and I bought it basically on my word credit. And I said, "Okay, I'll have it paid off in 3 months." I had it paid, to the guy. I'll come in every other weekend and give you so much money. It was about a month and a half and 2 months, just my buddy and I cutting firewood. I had that chainsaw paid off. Back in the 80s, $450 was a lot of money.
Doggone right it was.
right, and that's the thing of it. It teaches kids lessons, man, and that's the big issue with kids today, man. They don't know anything. They're not taught anything anymore. They're handed everything or told that they don't have to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I started business in elementary school. I sold bracelets. I sold all types of shit, candy, expired condoms. Although I will say I didn't know they were expired when I started selling them. And
Sure, you didn't.
they probably weren't used.
There's a lot of kids running around New York. Why? He was selling expired condoms, people.
Could be. I don't know. I doubt
we
most
know
of
why
them
there's
are
a big
used,
issue out there because he's
Oh.
part of the problem.
What's the shelf life on those things?
I don't know. My friend found a giant bag outside of a department store and snatched them up, and then I ended up getting my hands on them, and I'd take them in and sell them in school, like in the bathroom and shit. And eventually one day I was looking at it and I realized that because it's easier for me if I took them out of the boxes to put them in my pocket or whatever, so I'm not walking around with a bunch of boxes. And basically I was looking at it and I seen the date and realized it was expired, so that's probably why they were thrown out. So I don't know, but it's kind of a shock. But at that point I was already like halfway through the bag or something. So it was like they felt cool, like making up stories probably, about some girl that was always in another town or this or that, blah blah blah. And had a regular group I'd sell condoms to. But the point is I looked for ways to make money as a damn kid. I just started that way. Always looking for an opportunity that didn't involve jail or death.
Always looking for a way to pay for his next salad.
That's right. Yeah, you just got to have that natural hustle in you.
Oh crap! It's raining
Yeah,
here again.
I sold free penny savers. The people felt so bad they gave me money for a free penny saver. I'm serious.
I mean, you talk long enough, we all feel bad for you.
They're like, this poor kid can't even read that it's free. Just give him $1.
So you hung out in the bathroom selling condoms.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to end that whole train of thought.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though. Is I think because they were expired, you got some of those.
They had. I'm just surprised that they have an expiration date. I didn't know that.
Nothing lasts forever, brother.
And they just last long enough to fit that permanent ring in your wallet. You know. You know what I'm talking about, Jamie? Yeah, they just in case they was there.
It's probably whatever chemicals in there. It's not I bet the rubber itself doesn't have an expiration. It's probably the chemical.
Rubber bands will. I mean, the rubber bands will dissolve after 6 months on something out, exposed, but they fall apart. I'm sure it's probably made of some similar material.
I'm looking at one right now, and it says expires 2028, 801. So they do have dates on them still.
Okay, my dad says you never rolled that down that far to read that warning, dude. Who reads?
Oh yeah,
Especially young kids with a pack of condoms. I don't think any of them's reading it. They're trying to open it and put the damn thing on.
warning: must use before date. Yeah, it's at the bottom of it. You got to roll it all the way out.
In a wallet's like a horrible place to keep it because usually it pops the seal and whatnot, and kind of start drying out, creating issues. And then for using it and it's dry, then that's friction, and then that's a burst, and then that's, oh my God, 9 months later. So
There you go, Rob. There's the idea for your next video: the proper use and care of condoms.
No, Bama, I didn't miss the point. I got your joke there, buddy. I did get your joke.
Well, sort of like how we went away from single-edged razors in order to shave to these disposable things. It's just a way of possibly producing future business when they don't last that long.
Well, I've said it before, back in the day when I actually used to shave, because y'all know I don't shave, but back when I used to, I'd go through 3 or 4 just in one shave. The blades suck, man. They absolutely fucking suck.
that's crazy. You're telling me Scottish hair is worse than black hair?
It's
Black hair is like
man.
steel wool, man. Like deer hair.
It's a good tough and rough.
Well, Rob, you only got half black hair.
Right. But it's still it's pretty. It's like sandpaper for sure. But tears up razors, it seems. So, but I don't think I've ever gone through more than a razor and a shave, unless I got like a screwed up razor where as soon as you started using it, it started slicing you because the blades weren't placed right or something. Yeah.
No, and that's even your high end razors. The fucking what is it? Gillette or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, Gillettes.
Well,
Even their
but
high
see,
end shit with all those high end blades, dude. I burned through those fuckers.
back in the 80s when Gillette was made in the USA, those razors would last longer. But now all these razors and these disposables are made out in places like China, and you're getting that cheap recycled steel that's just they're garbage.
Thorzak's, I'm gonna
I'm
have to
not.
give that a try because honestly, yeah, I can pull out a brand new Mach 3 razor, shave with it once, and then I can't do it again. You, you've all seen I can actually really grow a beard, but it's like copper wire. And so yeah, it tears razor blades up. I'm gonna have to put a little ultrasonic in the bathroom there and see what that does.
Why don't we all just go back to straight razors?
With a cup and a brush and those soap cakes.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, y'all aren't you're tempting me for sure. Now, I don't know anything at all about the hairy stuff. I was curious about it for a little while, and then like I'm amazed that you have it because from what I hear, it wasn't cheap.
Where's it made?
I found these just at the store, so they weren't much more than any other razors. Used them in the past; they're all right. But they are made in America, in the U.S., actually in New York.
Oh, that's not America.
They're disposable. For all I know, I don't know. They were made here and parts are sourced overseas or something. I don't know, but it doesn't give you much more information.
They're probably assembled in the U.S.
Yeah, that means put in the box. I don't know.
I brought this up years ago on a chat, but in order to be classed as made in the USA, it has to be 60% assembled in the USA.
But according to compared to other name brand razors or whatever, they seem to be about the same. If anything, maybe I've noticed I can shave once or maybe an extra time with these, but they're still disposable, obviously razors. So I'm lucky to get like 2-3 shaves out of them. Usually, most brands.
I'd probably go through that entire box in one shave.
Prove it. Prove it. Do it on video.
Yeah, it's not happening because I'm not shaving it again, dude. I don't know how many times my boss has come to me in the last year and said something about my beard, and I'm like, dude, you can fuck off. Like, I'm not kidding. Quit coming to me about my beard. Leave my fucking beard alone.
You know, if you did, you could get much younger girls.
I got no problem getting girls, dude. That's not a concern.
Here you go, man. Here's your straight razor.
Are you gonna bring up a picture or one?
Yeah.
I want to see a picture of one of these girls Scotsman's talking about.
It's called The Art of Shaving. It's made in Germany, hollow ground. I rolled it up so you couldn't see the price because I don't want y'all to go and shop. But if I was going to shave again, that's how I'd do it.
See, Rob, the problem is all the pictures that I have, I cannot show on YouTube. That will definitely get the show pulled very, very quickly.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
Well, you got to get a picture after they get off work.
All right, we'll start going through the room. Rob, what you got, man?
I got nothing. Have a great evening, folks. Eat a salad and be able to say no to your kids.
Always good having you, man. Appreciate you. Daniel, what you got? All right, moving on. Jamie, what you got, brother?
Hey man, I did a video last week. I hope y'all saw it. We're testing some primers. There he is back. But thanks for having me, and check us out Friday nights at 8:00 on Georgia Shooting Connection. Appreciate y'all.
Always appreciate you, brother. All right, Daniel, what you got?
Nothing. I'm just living life, man. Just getting things together. I've already started getting ready for deer season next year. Found the sheds, 2 very good prospective deer. And my wife says she's got her name on one of them. So she'll probably be the only one that shoots one again. Let's see if we can make it 3 years in a row where I don't get one and she gets one. But thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens this coming year. And I hope this year I can get back out. That'd be nice. But always good seeing everyone out there. Appreciate it out in the side chat. You guys are awesome. Lots of good conversation out there. And Alan, if you would, sir, please take us out right.
Oh, yes. Yeah, man. Thank you. Yes. Apologize. It's been a couple of weeks, but it is what it's been. Thank you, everybody out there in the side chat. Greatly appreciate everybody coming in and viewing the show. I don't really have anything for you today other than to keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!